Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Hello and good Saturday evening, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Q2 Weekend News. I'm Dustin Klemann. The recovery effort in Puerto Rico remains challenging 10 days after Hurricane Maria hit. Power is still out and water is scarce for many of the island's 3 million residents. This morning, President Trump accused the mayor of Puerto Rico of poor leadership, one day after her plea for more help. Brooke Silva-Braga has more.
We are dying here.
In a desperate call for aid Friday, the mayor of San Juan said bureaucracy and inefficiency were costing lives in hurricane-battered Puerto Rico.
So I am asking the President of the United States to make sure somebody is in charge that is up to the task of saving lives.
President Trump responded Saturday by tweeting images of supplies being delivered by the Air Force, Coast Guard, and FEMA, and by criticizing Mayor Cruz, writing, "Such poor leadership ability by the mayor of San Juan and others in Puerto Rico who are not able to get their workers to help." The president accused the mayor of attacking his administration at the request of Democrats.
Actually, I was asking for help. I wasn't saying anything nasty about the president.
We need help. We don't need money. We need help.
Help has been stalled by blocked roads. For every need now, there is a line. The line for water, the line for fuel, the line for a working ATM. But Puerto Rico's governor emphasized progress and cooperation on Saturday.
We still need to do more. We still need to do more for the people of Puerto Rico, and we're working tirelessly to do that. But we needed resources. Now we're getting them. You're seeing some of them here. President Trump said the governor is a partner in the recovery effort. Despite the fake news media in conjunction with the Dems, he tweeted, "An amazing job is being done in Puerto Rico." President Trump said he will travel to the island on Tuesday. Brooke Silva-Braga, CBS News, New York.
Also this afternoon, among his flurry of tweets, President Trump said it's very important NFL players stand tomorrow for the national anthem. Back to Montana, the lieutenant governor stopped in Butte late on Friday to push the state legislature to work with the governing of fixing the state's budget crisis. Now, the state is dealing with an approximately $228 million deficit, and the legislature is expected to cut up to 10% from the state's social services that include health, education, corrections, and other agencies. A costly fire season also put the strain on the budget. Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney is asking the legislature to help find funds to prevent those deep cuts to services.
There won't be a service in Montana in state government that won't be impacted, and it'll affect people's lives, and that's what we want. Governor Bullock and I didn't get into this business to watch Montanans be hurt, and these cuts will hurt Montanans.
Under the law, the state cannot operate with a deficit. Bison management continues this year in Yellowstone National Park. Park spokesman Jonathan Schaefer says the total number of bison roaming in the park is down 12% from last year. Today, that total count is at 4,800 bison. In the study released this week, the recommendation for bison removal for the 2017-2018 year cannot exceed 1,250 bison, or 25% of the population. The bison that were removed either went to tribal nations or meat processing facilities. Montanans will be earning a higher minimum wage after next year. Governor Steve Bullock announcing on Friday minimum wage will raise from $8.15 to $8.30 an hour effective January 1st. In 2017, the food industry, followed by the retail trade industry, have had the largest number of employees earning minimum wage. State law requires the Department of Labor industry to adjust the state's minimum wage for the inflation using Consumer Price Index. An estimated 3,900 workers, or approximately 0.9% of the workforce, earn minimum wage. There was one less pig in the Billings city limits. Despite Billings City Council agreeing to revisit the issue of pigs as pets on Monday, Elizabeth Rogers was forced to remove Hamilton today, who she said has had for 7 years as an emotional support animal. Animal Control is enforcing the no pigs as pets within the city limits ordinance on a complaint-driven basis. Back on Monday, City Council requested the issue be brought back in order to work with owners who have had their pigs for several years. Hamilton will stay with a friend of Rogers while she looks for a new place to live, less than 2 months after moving into her current location. It's likely pigs as pets won't be allowed in apartment complexes or rental units if the council does agree to a solution. We'll be following that. The Moss Mansion's grounds became the venue for a fantasy with an Alice in Wonderland tea party today. Hundreds of people are enjoying the Mad Tea Party, with many dressing up in costumes of different characters. It's a fundraiser for the mansion, and it brought kids of all ages at Lewis Carroll's Alice Adventures, which was published all the way back in 1865, believe it or not. The event today is a story that brings good lessons for the younger kids.
Her trip to Wonderland is where she finds her courage to stand up and be her own person. So I think that tends to the heart of many people who would like to think that they can find their muchness. The grounds here, all of the things of Alice in Wonderland, so it turned out perfect.
A beautiful day for it, too. Still ahead on the Q2 Saturday 5:30 news, more STDs recorded than ever. We'll have that in medical news next.
And I'm Casey Conlon in Sydney at the State A golf meet. Riggs Johnston chases another record, and two Sydney Eagles battle down the wire for a chance at a state title. All that coming up in sports.
Well, we had a beautiful fall day outside. Let's take a look. Current temperature 72. We've got southwest winds at 12 miles an hour, but those temperatures are going to go down. We're going to have that with your complete forecast in just a couple of minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Dustin Klemann, Storm Tracker weather with Rob Griggs, and sports with Casey Conlon. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.